Bonjour, good afternoon. We're in Martinique and we had something happening here to this stuffing box, which was a bit of a mystery to me because I hadn't done a lot with it. And when water was coming out here, where this collar meets up, because the way that the stuffing box works is this collar seats down this way, and this is a larger collar, and what this is doing is it's pushing in this stuff called packing material. And the newer packing material is going to be kind of Teflon-y based material impregnated with probably some kind of wax. Older stuffing material, which would have been this junk that I picked out of there. This is flax based with a bit of wax in it. This is obviously a lot more high tech, will probably last a lot longer and do its job better. The idea here with this technology is that this collar pushes and there'll be 3 rings of this packing material concentrically inside here, and they'll be offset. So you'll have one like this, another one 120 degrees off, and another one another 120 degrees off, so that the seams don't match up is the whole idea. So it is a dripping system, so a little bit of water can come in and it can lubricate this prop shaft as it's spinning. So when it's spinning, when everything's working well, it should drip, I mean, depends what you read, but anywhere between 3 to 5 drips per minute while it's spinning. We were puking water just at rest without it spinning at all, so it was clear there was a problem. So initially thought that maybe we would need to get hauled out, and everything that I had read said, oh yeah, you definitely need to be on the hard in order to do this, because when you remove the old stuffing material, water is going to puke out through that hole because nothing's stopping it, because you have the stern tube and then this whole jam here, and then boom, you have the boat. And then if the bilge pump can keep up with it, that's all fine. But it's messy and apparently very exciting. I did find something that says you can do it in the water, but you need to have some plumber's putty, which luckily enough I had some plumber's putty. Very cool. This stuff, what you do is you take it and you just roll it into a tube like a worm and dive under the boat, and right where the prop shaft goes into the boat, right at the stern tube, just pack all that in with plumber's putty, and that's going to stop the water from coming inside the boat while you do the work on this stuffing box. So once I did that, I started undoing these nuts here and loosening the tension and just observed to see if water was coming in. Looked like we were all good and that plumber's putty was doing its job, which is awesome. And once that was off and that collar was pushed back, they say that you should use a tool of some kind in order to gouge out that old packing material inside the stuffing box. Now, this came with a soldering kit that I had bought years ago. Never did I use it for soldering, but boy, it came in real handy to get this stuffing material out of that stuffing box, because you have a collar like this, and I was able to take this thing, shove it in there, and bend it so it grabbed the threads of the stuffing material, and it all came out. I mean, I say it all came out, it came out really messy and disgusting. This is the old stuffing material, which, as you could see, whatever usefulness it did have has long since passed. So this was probably the most arduous part of the job, was just picking all of this gook out of there. And it's possible to use a mirror and a flashlight in order to get a good angle down in here so that you can see down into this shaft and then see if you've gotten all the packing material out. In addition, you can use something like a different type of poker, which I happen to have this guy. Shove it in there and make sure that you're contacting metal, and then kind of clean out whatever else might be inside that stuffing box before putting the new material in there. So the stage that we're at now is that the new stuff is in, and these nuts have been tightened. I haven't put the lock nuts on because there's actually 2 nuts on each one of those bolts to hold that stuffing box in place. So what I'm going to do is go back in the water, dive down, take that plumber's putty off, and then come back in here and see if we're good to go. Otherwise our bilge pump might have to do some work, but that's fine, she's a good bilge pump. And yeah, if all is well, then it's all good. Then I'll take it and I'll do the adjustments and start the engine and have it spin, because the shaft needs to be rotating in order to do the fine tuning of the stuffing box to make it so that your drip rate is good. So I'll, get it in gear, spin, 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 tighten it up until you've got that 3 to 5 drops per minute. And then we're good to go and didn't have to get hauled out. No drama, everything's cool, and success. We'll see. Okay, now it's for real. Great. So everything happened. I did it, used this fun tool, picked everything out. And then in addition, I also replaced all these hose clamps. And fun fact about hose clamps that I learned is the part on the hose clamps that corroded the worst, and of course now I can't find one. All right, hose clamps always have these funny stickers on them, right, that identify how much they cost and how big they are. Right where the sticker is where all the corrosion was on these hose clamps that were here on this rubber tube, holding everything together. So what I did is I took all the old guys off. 2 of them were so bad I had to take the Dremel tool and the cutting wheel and cut them off because they wouldn't turn any longer. But now we have 6 beautiful ones and we're alternating them as well, which is good to do. Yeah, so now they're all good. They lasted a couple years for breeze anyway, but I think they lasted such a short time because there was a lot of water coming out of this stuffing box. Now we just tested it. We put it in reverse and had a fun time almost hitting another boat because I guess the anchor wasn't set very well. So we went very quickly at 2,300 RPMs towards the boat behind us. And thankfully Shannon stopped that and we're all good. Point is, it was dripping perfectly, like 3 to 5 drops a minute, exactly as you want. And we did all this without having to haul a boat, and it didn't take terribly long. The biggest thing I'd say is this tool. This tool and the plumber's putty on the outside are the keys to make it so that repacking your stuffing box can be done in the water and is awesome.